Hi.
I'm going to introduce you both, just because it's helpful. So this is Ally, who is a wonderful composer, and Amelia, who's a wonderful violinist. And we're doing this today mainly because Amelia is a total legend, and she's a violinist in the Royal Opera. I'm going to let you introduce yourself properly, but she's been doing incredible fundraising since the beginning of lockdown, and the latest thing, it's all been for help musicians, and the latest thing is an album which is cross genre, so loads and loads and loads of different music from different parts of the music world. And she very kindly asked me to provide a track for it, and Ally had written the most beautiful violin piece for me during lockdown, and I just thought it would be perfect to have that as the track that I recorded. So I thought I'd bring them together today. And Amelia and I have met, we've worked together, but actually the three of us haven't met. So it's really exciting to see people's faces properly. So anyway, I'm going to let you introduce yourself properly. So Amelia?
Yeah, so I was playing the orchestra at the Opera House. I was a freelancer for a really long time before that, so I was a freelancer for about 13 years. And then I just started at the Opera House this season, so it's kind of a strange first season, I suppose. I suppose I was just kind of getting used to things, and then on March the 16th, we were at work and we'd done one show, and then we were getting ready, sort of just about to get changed. And then Boris made the speech, saying, "Don't go to the theatre." So they sent home the audience who were already starting to come in, sent us home, and that was it. And we didn't go back. And there are still things in my locker that at the time I thought, oh, it'll be maybe a couple of weeks, so I'll be back in to get those trousers that I really should have taken home to wash, and that sort of stuff. And it's still there, I haven't been in. Some people had to make special arrangements to go and get their instruments. Kind of crazy time. So leading up to that, I suppose, as it was becoming obvious that this was going to happen, I started thinking about my particular situation, I suppose, because I felt like I found myself potentially in quite a lucky position of entering employment at this particular time and having a really amazing and really big voice, I suppose, in the Opera House, because it feels like, when you're a freelancer, what I loved about it was you have the freedom to do all these different things, and you're out on your own and you're doing it. It's really exciting and stuff. But sometimes, you are on your own and you can feel a bit kind of lost, I suppose, if things go a particular way. And I was chatting to lots of my friends and colleagues who were freelancers, who just kept saying, I don't want everything to stop. What are we going to do if it does go into lockdown? All my work's going to stop. And I just kept thinking, I'm just really worried about the way that we might find ourselves in different positions. And so I've been thinking about it before it happened, and then as soon as it did happen, and then when the government started behaving in particular ways, it did feel like we were being divided. And I thought, this is so silly. We play together all the time. We're doing exactly the same job. How can it be that we're treated so differently? And I suppose that's where it kind of started, but then it grew and evolved as the situation has evolved. And now everyone in the arts finds themselves in a difficult position. The Opera House are saying, we need help, we need money, we're not going to be able to survive this potentially unless somebody does something, because they've done so amazingly well to not survive on the funding, and now it feels like they're kind of being penalised for it because the ticket sales aren't coming in. So now I suppose it's a very different thing we find ourselves in. But the idea of musicians for musicians, which is my campaign, was to try to kind of spread the wealth within the musicians, to try wealth, as if we're, not really like that, is it? But the 20 quid that some of us had to pass some of that on to someone else. And now I suppose, especially with the idea of the CD, it's a bit more maybe about what musicians have been showing throughout this whole time, that there's this amazing creativity and willingness to put that out there and share it with people, and desire to work together, which we all miss because we're not doing it at the moment. And so with the CD, I kind of thought, it would be amazing to have a document of this time as well, and something where we could all come together and use all of our voices to say that this is happening for us, to us, with us, all those things. And yeah, so I got in touch with Fenella because I know that she's an awesome violinist and also a great champion for new music, and it felt like a really lovely idea to have some new classical music on there. And I guess the solo violin piece is kind of doable with this situation. And then obviously she got in touch with Ally, and then when I remember the first time I heard the piece, I was like, this is perfect, so amazing. So thank you so much to both of you for being part of it, because it really means a lot to me, just, myself. It's been a really nice project, but as a personal thing as well, to have something to do and to aim for, and to try to do something positive at a time when there's so much that isn't so positive. So sorry, that was really rambling, but that's who I am.
No, that is perfect. It says everything. No, it's just incredible to have been from the outside, to have been watching what you've been getting up to. I mean, we've all dealt with things in different ways, I guess, but to see somebody able to look with such clarity and say, okay, these are the things that I can do, whether it's jumping up and down however many times it was, or doing musical things, or then galvanizing all these people to create something that is so much bigger than what one person could have created on their own, and to do that in order to support our kind, where people really are struggling. And for me to be able to, I've felt actually quite guilty that where lots of people are doing performances in order to raise funds for help musicians or other charities, I've had to do the concerts and the recordings that I've been doing. I've had to do them actually to raise money for myself, because I'm one of those freelancers who doesn't have stuff to fall back on. I don't teach, so I don't have any source of income except playing concerts, and there are no concerts. So I had to find some way to pay my bills, because otherwise out on the street. And so I wanted to do that in rather than being fundraising for somebody else and then have to go to those people and say, please give me money because I can't pay my bills. I thought it made more sense to do it like this. So actually now to be in the situation where I've been able to record something for something that is bigger than what I could have done anyway, that is going to be supporting help musicians, it makes me really happy to feel that I've been able to do something that wasn't just for myself in these months. I'm very aware that I've now rambled, and Ally hasn't had a chance to ramble yet. Ally, please ramble.
Fenella, I think what you've been doing is amazing. I mean, you're just equally so resourceful. I'm just in awe of both of you, of what you've managed to achieve during this strange lockdown period that we've been experiencing. So, Amelia, I'm very new to you, and I'm so happy that we've been introduced, because clearly you are an awesome person, and I love what you've done with this album, and all of the fundraising is just brilliant to have been introduced to you in this way. Fenella, I have stalked you on Twitter for I don't know how many years, a very long time, and it's brilliant to finally have written a piece for you. So,
and what a piece! Is like Amelia says, it's beautiful music. It was such a joy, to get to know, and I'm really excited because once the album's out, I get to perform it live. So I've been holding off doing the premiere until the album's out, obviously, because that makes sense. But yeah, I'm really excited. There's going to be on Sunday's concert. I'll be doing that.
Well, that's brilliant. So
right, introduce yourself.
Well, so I was composing full-time from sort of 2010. I did a course. I was really lucky that I got to study with Peter Maxwell Davies. He came to Hitchin, near where I live, and did a course composing for strings. And I hadn't written anything since I left university, sort of 7 or 8 years before that. And I thought, well, I play the cello and I can definitely write for strings, so I need to do this. This is like, it's a sign that he has come here to where I live. So I did that course. It was amazing. He was wonderful. And I was just like, what have I been doing all these years? I need to be composing. This is my thing. I love it. So then I did it like properly until about 2015, and I wrote a whole bunch of stuff, and it was all great. And then I kind of burnt out a bit, and I was like, this thing that I loved, I am starting to hate it, and I need to stop. So I stopped, got a job in the real world, and then lockdown, and I was furloughed, and I was like, oh, I have some free time. This is nice. Oh, there's music back in my head that had not been there for a while. The music just left. I used to always have kind of music humming around in my head that I would feel like, oh, quick, must write it down. Where's the nearest notebook? Blah, blah, blah. And that had gone. So it came back, and I was like, oh, this is amazing. Right, this is now the time that I need to start again. So when I stopped in 2015, I knew it was never going to be the end. I knew it was like pressing pause. So I was okay with it, because I thought composing is something I've had in me my whole life. So I knew it would be okay. It would come back. So when it did come back, I was like, oh, quick, write it down, do everything, don't let it go away again. And just, I really pounced on it. And I'd never written anything for solo violin. Being a cellist, I'd done a few cello things. I'd done some cello and piano stuff. I'd done piano solos. I'd done, bigger works. I'd never done anything just for violin. And when I saw you were doing these concerts, Fenella, and that you were looking for more music, I was like, please, maybe, could I write something for you? Maybe, please. I'm not worthy, but and you said yes, and I was like, yes, this is amazing. Proper dream come true. So yeah, the piece Caged Bird that I've written, it's because I have a daughter, she's 11, so being on furlough, I've been helping her with her remote schooling, and we do that in the conservatory because that's the only place we have a table. So we've been sitting together in the conservatory, and apart from the voice of her teacher, all I hear is birds. There are just so many birds, they're going non-stop, and I never really noticed them before. So it's funny, isn't it? You don't notice these things, and they're there, and they were suddenly very loud and tweeting all the time. But it's a beautiful sound, it's not irritating at all. It's like you're suddenly aware of all this life that exists around you that you just hadn't appreciated before. And I felt this sense of irony that we are locked down, we are in a cage, and it just made me think of the way people sometimes keep birds as pets, like a budgie or whatever, in a cage, and it was like the birds outside were almost laughing at us. It felt a bit like that. So I mean, the piece, it's not a comical piece, but I did capture some of that bird song that I was hearing. And it is a sense of, in a way, being a bit of a prisoner. I think some of that maybe comes through. There's definitely some frustration towards the end.
It feels like you're trying to escape something. As you're playing it. But there is a sense of soaring to it as well. All I say is you're really lucky you don't have some of the birds that I've got around me outside that sings the first few bars of Barbie Girl.
Oh no.
I did not even bars, it's like the first 5 notes. But yeah, I've had Barbie Girl going around my head for the whole of lockdown.
Goodness, that would have been a slightly different piece.
Yeah, I love it.
Wow. So I was just absolutely blown away when not only did you then like the piece that I'd written for you, you then asked it if I'd be happy for you to include it on this album. That was just the most amazing thing. I couldn't believe my luck. I was like, yes, how many times can I say yes? And I will say very loudly, yes, 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 please. I desperately would love to be a part of this. It sounds incredible. So I've just been floating on a cloud ever since.
Oh, I'm so happy.
It's just been really wonderful. So thank you.
What's really interesting is that I knew that you'd had a break from writing, and I knew that you'd come back to it recently, but I hadn't realised it was actually this recent, that it was lockdown time. I'd assumed that you'd been sort of working your way back into it for months, and I'd only just sort of come in on the end of that, which makes me even more excited about the piece and about its inclusion in the album, because it just seemed, when I knew what Amelia was planning, it seemed like the perfect piece. Partly musically, it felt like the perfect piece. It seemed like music that, it was saying a lot about what's been going on recently. But also, knowing that you were just coming back to writing, I knew that it would be a really positive thing for you as well, that to have that sort of amplification of your voice, and the fact that you are here and you are doing this thing. And so I just thought it was a really wonderful opportunity for me, and hopefully for you as well, to be in this thing. And then I found out that Rachel Podger was going to be on the disc, and she's like one of my big heroes, and that got even more excited. I still can't quite believe I'm going to be on a disc with Rachel Podger.
It's cool, isn't it? Yeah.
It's so great.
I put the violin on some things just so as I can be on a disc with her as well.
I don't feel like that about field music. When I found out field music were on it, I've been a fan of theirs for quite a few years.
Oh yeah, I saw your tweets.
I was a bit, whoa, this is huge. So yeah, extremely exciting.
Yeah, everyone's been so generous about it. I don't know field music, just my wife Stacey really, really likes them, and we've seen them at festivals and stuff. And I just tweeted them and said, I'm doing this album, is there any chance that you fancy being involved? And then they just said yes. So
amazing.
I think the great thing about music is that people are just really giving, because you have to be, because there's always that difficulty of the fact that so often you're expected to give, whether it's that you're being asked to play for a charity gig for no fee, and that obviously they will have paid everybody else, like the catering and everything, and that's a bit of a difficult point, that we are expected, because we love our job, that we will always give, and yet at the same time it's an amazing thing when people are in this sort of situation, that they're just super keen to be able to do something that will support other musicians, because we've all been there. We've all been at that point where you don't know whether next month's gonna bring you any work, you don't know where the next bills are going to be paid from, and so if you're in a position where you're able to support others, of course you're going to want to do that. And I think as soon as anybody sees that there's something real and a real opportunity for them to do something to support that, like you've given us, why would you say no if you have the opportunity to say yes? So
yeah, I also the profits are being split between the charity and the musicians who are on the CD, and some people are donating that back to help musicians, because everyone's in different positions. That's the thing. Like Fenella, one you were saying earlier, I feel guilty about taking the music for my concerts and stuff. I think that's, like you were saying just now, that's something that's kind of strangely built into us as artists. About this, it's a kind of strange thing, isn't it? Anyway, you can get into it, and it's very complicated. But I did want to give people an opportunity to do something to help others, but that also could help them out if they were also in need. Because, like you say as well, if you do something and you think, I'm going to be really giving, and then you find yourself in a difficult situation, that's no good either. So the profits are being split, and I think that also probably when I first started it, I think there were probably maybe more people who thought, oh yeah, I'm in a position to be able to do this for free. And then as we went along, actually, quite a few people said, I would absolutely love to do that, but I'm just no longer in a position to do that. And that's absolutely fine. And I hope that this album will help lots of people help musicians and the musicians who are on it, both financially, but also, like you say, with it just hopefully being a way of putting your energy and your creativity out there and sharing it. And I know for some of the bands, they kind of said, yeah, I took it on and I thought it was going to be, really hard work. We never recorded anything separately from each other, and we didn't really know what we were doing, and it was difficult and stuff. And then actually we did it, and it was really fun, and it was nice to have something to have to do if you're in this weird thing where it feels like, is it still March? I don't know what's happening.
I looked in my diary. It's nearly July.
Yeah,
bonkers.
It's insane.
Yeah,
absolutely insane.
Like March.
Yeah,
it's like we've lost half a year almost.
Yeah,
crazy stuff. But yeah, I can totally get that. If you're normally in a band, and what can you actually achieve right now, and then to have a focus must be a fantastic thing. And also, I mean, you've been very, I was going to say fortunate, but actually it's more than fortunate. I mean, it's the fact that you're out there making it happen. But you had somebody amazing doing the sound.
Yeah.
It's what, anybody who's listened to any of my concerts particularly, or most of the videos that I've put out, will know how dry and how boxy my tiny living room is. And yeah, I sent this recording, very dry, boxy sound, and it got back this incredible thing that sounds totally pro. It sounds like it was recorded in a studio. That I find it really hard to believe that people can do that, but can be handed something so basic and create something so beautiful out of it. So you've had really great people involved on the tech side of it as well.
Yeah, I've been hugely lucky. So many people have been so generous. So when I started doing it, my wife's actually a fundraiser. She works for a dog rehoming charity. So she has been helping me by saying, well, if you need this done, why don't you ask them whether they donated to projects? And I was like, oh yeah, I would never have thought about asking anyone who wasn't kind of one of the musicians, I suppose. So Paul Russell, who is in Stacey's band, Active, he's a sound engineer. He's a sound engineer for the Skints, who are also on the album actually. So yeah, he helped me with mixing some of the violin tracks and some of the other tracks too, and also just with advising me about ISRC codes and things that I knew nothing about, because we don't usually deal with them as players. So he's been amazing. And then some people have mixed their own tracks or had their kind of in-house person, and then I realised or was told at some point you need to get it mastered, which I know nothing about, but basically getting all the tracks to sound good with each other so there aren't these big kind of dips and stuff. And Stacey had a friend who had said that he would be able to help, but he's only ever worked with rock bands, and I was a bit
serious.
Like, well, this isn't the person who did it in the end.
Okay.
So I was a bit like, there are going to be some kind of crazy instruments on there. We've got a nickel harper on there. We've got a viola d'amore on there. These are not instruments that people work with all the time. And then I asked the band whether they knew anyone who they used a lot or something. And this one of the bands suggested Steve Kitch, and I went on his website and I was like, he's got to be involved. He's just absolutely amazing. His website is so brilliant, and it's perfect for someone who doesn't know what they're doing. It really explains, like, this is what mastering is, this is what I can do. And he also has worked with all different kinds of instruments, so it's perfect for the album because we've got world music on there, we've got jazz, we've got electronic music on there, like UK garage, which I've put next to your track, which I love that drop. So good.
It's so great, and it works so well. I when you mentioned it, it felt like there was a tiny bit of trepidation in your email, and I went and had a listen, and I was sort of expecting it to go mental, straight on the edge of this amazing ending, and actually it's just an incredible move from the one thing to the other, and it's a great track as well. I mean, I honestly, I listened through to the whole thing the other day, and it's such an incredible mix of music. It's everything is really, great and different and taking you to such different places, and it's just a fantastic album that you've managed to put together from nothing.
I think it's a brilliant way as well for people to discover the types of music that they might not otherwise come across. So if you're like, this is my thing, I always listen to this kind of music, rather than sort of exploring the other genres. If you get the album because you like a particular artist on that album, but then you listen to the other tracks, you're bound to discover something else that you really like that you might not have otherwise heard. And it's just going to broaden people's experiences of music, which can only be a good thing, really, I think. Absolutely. So I think it's a wonderful idea.
And to be able to do that in a way where actually the whole disc as a journey hangs together is total genius. So well done, you.
I did wonder whether it would just be chaos when I sort of first had the idea, like, I want all different kinds of music, because I love like all different kinds of music, but I know that obviously not everyone does. So yeah, it could have been absolutely mad, but I think that is like hugely thanks to the amazing sound people as well. Steve has really managed to make these tracks that wouldn't necessarily sit next to each other. I mean, I do think that there are commonalities between all of the things, especially the ones we've kind of put together. But yeah, he's really done an amazing job, and he donated his time. He did that as his donation to the project, and then actually after I've spoken to you guys, I'm also picked up some of the CDs, and they've been printed by 3 CD production companies. People also donated their time and expertise.
That's incredible.
It's amazing. Everyone's just been so kind in helping me with it and making it like from this weird idea in my head into this thing. You'll be able to buy it and see it and feel it, and it'll be And some of them are like cork inlay, amazing eco CDs and stuff. I'm really excited about those.
No, it's not just actually that bit, how quickly you turned this around as well. Because when I think about how long, if I'm planning a CD, the amount of time, and obviously that you're looking really early ahead because of the amount of fundraising that's going to go into creating it. I started work on the disc I should have recorded in May. I probably started it easily a year ahead of that. And even if I had recorded it in May as planned, it wouldn't have come out probably until the beginning of next year. That's my normal idea of a turnaround, 18 months to 2 years to get a project idea started till the CD comes out. The fact that you've created an album in less than 2 months, to go from kind of an idea to having asked everybody's recorded their tracks, and it's out being sold. It's just insane.
It is insane. I think the thing is that I didn't know any of that stuff, and that the naivety has allowed this project to flourish, I suppose, because I didn't know what I needed to do. I just knew that I wanted to do it, and I guess I can be a bit like a dog with a bone. It's probably the violinist in me. It's like the obsessive side, and I was like, I want to make this thing happen. Okay, I'm just going to start trying to make it happen, and then as I've kind of come across things that I've been like, okay, didn't know that I needed to do that. And I've also just basically found amazing people around me who, when I've said, I've come across this and I don't know what it is, I don't know what I need to do about it, they've either said, okay, I will do that for you, or they've said, this is what you need to do. And I mean, without them, it would still be some kind of mad idea in my head. And without you guys, obviously, because it's all very well and good me going, oh yeah, I want to put those different tracks together, but I need people to create these incredible tracks. So thank you so much.
It's an amazing achievement. You must be so proud of it, but it's wonderful for us to be a part of it as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you.
So Zoom is about to kick us out in a few minutes. I've had my notification that if I don't want to pay them any money, which I don't, our meeting is going to come to an end. But could you just for clarity's sake, for anybody who's listened this far, just tell everybody exactly what it is, where to find it, and I'll put all of the information at the bottom of the video as well. But
sure. So my campaign is Musicians for Musicians, and I've got a Just Giving page which you can go to if you want. But the best thing that you can do from Friday, so the 3rd of July, is go to musiciansformusicians.bandcamp.com, and you can buy the album, and there's digital tracks, which are 20 quid. So if you buy the whole album as a digital thing, which you can keep forever as a digital thing, that's 20 quid. And then there's going to be some different CDs on there, different options of different CDs. And so you'll be able to buy those there. And you can also just donate to the campaign through there, basically. So if you want to buy an album, which would be brilliant, you don't have to just give us 20 quid, you can give us as much as you like. And that will go to help musicians who have already helped over 17,000 people and are in the midst of putting together, they've had all their applications for the second round of funding, and I know that they were getting applications every 10 seconds. So it really, really is a difficult time for musicians, and we do so appreciate all the people who have given and shared and created videos. I've had some hilarious videos created for the campaign. So yeah, if you want to check it out, you can go to Bandcamp and buy it there, and we would massively appreciate it. And I think that honestly you will really enjoy it as well. There'll probably be some things on there that you'll think, I would never have listened to that, and maybe it's not for you, maybe it is, but I think it's a great album actually. It's kind of mad, it's kind of great.
And is it this Friday that Bandcamp are waiving their fees as well?
Very good. Excellent. Be my PR person. Yeah, you're right. So on the reason that I have been pushing to get it out this Friday is that Bandcamp do these days where they waive their fees. So if you buy it on Friday, absolutely everything that you give will go to the musicians and to help musicians. So it's a great day to buy it.